United States President Barack Obama is calling the suspected chemical weapons attack in Syria a, quote, big event of grave concern. White House is saying that if the alleged strike proves to be true, it could trigger tougher U.S. action. Meanwhile, international pressure is growing, and Russia is now urging for an investigation into the allegations. Nathan King joins us now from our newsroom with the latest.
That's right, Mike. Moscow and Washington have been on opposite sides of the Syrian conflict from the outset, but the proliferation and use of chemical weapons worries both capitals equally. And as intense diplomatic efforts continue to try and get to the bottom of what happened in the Damascus suburb of Ghouta, the U.S. is hinting at a stronger response.
Framing any potential confirmation of chemical weapons use in Syria as a threat to the U.S. and regional security, the American president used some of his toughest language yet on Syria.
Then that starts getting to some core national interests that the United States has, both in terms of us making sure that weapons of mass destruction are not proliferating, as well as needing to protect our allies, our bases in the region. This is something that is going to require America's attention and hopefully the entire international community's attention.
Pursuing the diplomatic route for now, the U.S. is urging Damascus to grant UN chemical weapons inspectors access to the Ghouta site. Moscow, too, says an impartial investigation into what happened is a matter of, quote, general interest. UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon is also pushing. He has dispatched the UN High Representative for Disarmament to Damascus. Meanwhile, the Syrian opposition continues to press for action, saying they're willing to provide access to UN inspectors to the area affected by the alleged chemical attack. They're also calling on Washington to act.
What
are the red lines for the American administration? Is the red line with Obama is different from ours? We are killing and massacred, and red lines have been crossed, and the American administration has failed to take any action.
If diplomatic action fails to get to the truth of what happened in Ghouta, the White House may consider military options.
The military option would be, for example, to increase the amount of equipment and the lethality of the equipment that they're giving to the rebels. The other is that they could launch cruise missile strikes or airstrikes from off the coast to deal with the facilities or their airfields.
U.S. allies, Turkey, France and others would welcome a more robust U.S. response, but even a military strike may not alter the balance of the Syrian conflict, and it could embolden pro-Assad forces. Even Barack Obama himself has said that the notion that the U.S. alone can halt Syria's civil war is overstated, Mike.
Nathan, there's been some rumblings that there may be some ship movement in the Mediterranean. I know you were working the phones on that before you came out here on the air. You learn anything on that?
Yeah, late breaking news, Mike, that the USS Mahan, which was one of 4 cruise missile able ships in the eastern Mediterranean, will stay there now. It was due to come back here to Norfolk, Virginia, but the commander of the 6th Fleet, and this is according to the Reuters news agency, has decided to keep that there due to the escalation of the Syrian crisis. Now, I want to make clear that this does not mean any cruise missile attack. It has been given the green light. It does not mean it's imminent, but it means that there is options there in the eastern Mediterranean if the US would want to do so. We also understand the National Security Team and the Joint Chiefs of Staff will be meeting over the weekend. But as the president said in that interview, he wants to work with the international community and wants to get proof first. It would be very, very big change if the U.S. decided to go ahead unilaterally on this one.
All right, Nathan King live for us in our newsroom. Thanks so much.
Thanks.